What is going on, everybody? My name is Anthony. Welcome to VR365. It is Sunday. It is May 3rd, and we're about to do an episode of VR365 Live. However, this is going to be a bit different, a bit of a different kind of an episode. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a countdown. Yeah, you know, your standard issue countdown episode. Now, what is that all about? Well, we're going to take a look at what we believe are the 20 most wanted PC VR games that are coming to PC VR platforms. And this does include Oculus Rift exclusives. So it's basically all PC VR games. Now, here's the deal, though. We do not really consider rumored games. Assassin's Creed VR, you know, there's different VR games out there that people believe. Splinter Cell VR, Assassin's Creed VR, a couple of other games that might be out there as VR games, but we're not going to worry about those. We're going to worry about games that have actually been announced. We know that they are legitimate commodities. We might have little information on them. We might not have a lot of videos or pictures or information and stuff like that, but at least we know they're legitimate commodities. Now, some of these games have been gorillas in the mist. Some of these games have been missing in action, and we don't even know if they still exist, but we're going to go over all of them, all 20 of them. We're going to start off at number 20, and we're going to work our way down to the number one banger. And here's the thing, when you've got to do a breakdown of 20 games, if I were to spend 5 minutes on every one of these games, that is a 1 hour and 40-minute show. Okay, if I spend 5 minutes on every one of these games. So I'm not going to spend 5 minutes on every one of these games. Some of them I might only give like a minute and a half, but others I might get 7 minutes. So I don't know. It's probably going to be a long show. I'm probably going to get to number 11 and be like, holy shit, I got to keep going. But it is what it is. We're going to do it. This is a Sunday stream extraordinaire. So let's go ahead and start things off. We're going to start things off with number 20. We're going to work our way backwards. And we're going to start things off with number 20. And number 20 in the breakdown is Hyperdash by Triangle Factory. Yes, Hyperdash by Triangle Factory. And some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, isn't that a Quest game? Why are you mixing in Quest games with the most wanted PC VR games that are out there? But here's the thing. Yes, Hyperdash VR is coming to the Oculus Quest, and this is where a lot of people have tried the game out, and this is where the game is primarily well known, is the Quest version of Hyperdash, which, by the way, is coming to SideQuest officially very soon. And it's going to be coming officially on the Oculus Quest store later this year. You can see coming 2020, but it's also coming to Steam VR. There is going to be cross-play, so this is also going to be on PC VR platforms. Now, believe it or not, I have never played this, even though there's nothing really preventing me from playing it. It's simply a matter of downloading the right files and doing what I got to do, connecting my Quest to the laptop and doing the blah, 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 blah. And I could be trying this game out. I've never tried it out. However, I have heard very good things about this game. In fact, Gamertag VR had a lot of great things to say about this. Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis, I believe they had some really good things to say about this game. It's basically arena-based multiplayer. You can see in that video there at the very beginning, you see 5 characters start to blink out in different directions. You're riding on the rails, so it's kind of jet grind radio, jet set radio. Anybody remember that on the Sega Dreamcast when it was really the bomb? And then, of course, they brought it to the Xbox as well. But yeah, so it reminds people of like Overwatch, Sunset Overdrive. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a PlayStation VR game that was there at the very beginning of the life cycle of PlayStation VR, a game that is now defunct. a game that was developed by a studio that I don't think no longer exists, right? Gorilla Cambridge built Rigs. Remember Rigs for PlayStation VR? Kind of looks a little bit like Rigs, especially this yellow colored arena right here looks a lot like Rigs. Like when I first saw this trailer, first thing I thought about. But yeah, Hyperdash is number 20. A lot of people are excited about this. There's always hype about multiplayer games. As we go through this top 20 breakdown, there's going to be a lot of multiplayer games that are going to be mixed in this breakdown. And the reason why is if you create a multiplayer sensation that everybody loves, you're the dream, man. You're living a dream. Everybody wants to be the dream multiplayer. Unfortunately, the hype level of these games are very short. They burn out quickly. Will the audience hang around? Do people really love it that much? But anyway, that is Hyperdash. That is number 20. And it looks pretty cool. I'm not really a multiplayer guy, so I'm not that hardcore into it, but I'm still definitely interested in it, and I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on it as we continue to move forward. But let's go ahead and bounce over to number 19. This is the 19th most wanted PC VR game. This is according to VR Game Rankings. Now, this is not my actual private personal ranking. If I was ranking my top 20 most wanted VR games, PC VR, I don't think Zenith would actually be in the list. I hate to say it. But in this ranking, it is in the list because this is about the overall VR gaming industry. And so we got to consider all kinds of genres, different kinds of flavors, and some things have hype. Some things people are into. They might not be your cup of tea, but other people are really into it. And Zenith VR is one of these games that a lot of people are really into, and there is some excitement about this. It is basically, it reminds a lot of people of Sword Art Online, a cyberpunk MMO style game. It kind of has that Sword Art Online kind of a look to it and that sort of appeal. Ramen VR is a developer. Of course, this game was kickstarted and was fully funded in about 4 hours. And it was Ramen VR. It was Andy Singh, and might be mispronouncing that name there. And I don't, let's see. Andy Zinn and Lauren Frazier are the two main people there at Ramen VR. And of course, they had their famous Kickstarter video, Andy kind of shedding a few little tears there. And they raised a gang of money, folks. $280,000. They could take that money and go buy themselves a Ferrari 454 Spider and just drive the F out of here and just take your money and never show up. But no, instead, they're actually making this RPG game, which does have a cool look, kind of Phantasy Star Online, reminds me of that a little bit. Sword Art Online, massively multiplayer, cyberpunk in the his house. And so this is not my jam right here. It is not my jam. This is not in my personal top 20, but I can understand why people are into it. They're into this certain style. There's the dream, the cyberpunk dream. There's also the, what do you call it? Just like the whole metaverse dream of like meeting other people online and being in your favorite anime styled worlds. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. This game's going to take a while, though. They're definitely working on it. They got plenty of money. They definitely got the money to work on this puppy. But wow, that is pretty crazy. So that, of course, is Zenith. That is checking in at number 19 on our chart. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we've got for number 18. Now, number 18, this is interesting. We've got a brand new banger. This is a brand new game that has just been announced, I believe, within the last 30 days. It is called Stride. It's called Stride. It is called Stride, ladies and gentlemen, and the developer is Joyway. Yeah, I know. I've never heard of them either. But here's the thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for this game, and I'll go ahead and full screen this. And honestly, here's the deal with this one. You've only got to watch this for about 3 seconds, and then you realize exactly what they're doing here. This is Mirror's Edge to a ridiculous degree. It is Mirror's Edge in basically everything but the official name. I mean, look at that. Look at that yellow over there. Look at this. Like, there really should be a lawsuit. Like this is probably the biggest danger of this game, period, is some kind of lawsuit that just shuts this game down. Because god damn. I mean, I guess it isn't illegal to make a bunch of white buildings and white cityscapes and then have a couple of yellow air conditioners every once in a while and burnt orange air conditioners. I guess it's not illegal to do that, but god damn, we all know what's going on here. This is Mirror's Edge like nobody's business. And the thing is, if you remember back to Mirror's Edge, way back in the day, one of my favorite games on the PC, well, actually on all the video game systems, right? But I think I was playing the PC version mostly because I could crank up the resolution as high as humanly possible. And it just looks so beautiful, so clean, just that pure aesthetic of it. Wasn't it DICE? Wasn't it some people at DICE that basically made Mirror's Edge? Like, it was like a splinter team of people that worked at DICE that worked on Mirror's Edge. Now, I never played Mirror's Edge 2. Like, I completely missed the boat on Mirror's Edge 2, so I don't know anything about Mirror's Edge 2. I played Mirror's Edge 1. I didn't play all the way through it, but I played a lot of it. But I've barely said the name Stride. All I've said is Mirror's Edge, and more Mirror's Edge. And that's why this game has jumped all the way into the top 20, like leapfrogging tons of games. We've got 100 PC VR games that are ranked over there at VRGameRankings.com in terms of upcoming PC VR games. We have 100 games. They are a legitimate 100 games. They're real games, and all the way into the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, there are legit games with real possibilities. And this game jumped in and jumped ahead of all of those, like jumped way ahead of hell of games, and jumped into the top 20, and it did it purely off the strength of the fact that it looks like a Mirror's Edge fanboy's dream come true in VR. And the funny thing is, like, if you go back to the year 2016, let me go ahead and switch back over here. If you went back to the year 2016 when VR gaming was brand freaking new, I would have never thought that this would have worked in VR. I would have thought Mirror's Edge in VR? That is a barf simulator du jour. You know, do you guys remember that? Remember when we thought that no first-person shooters would ever work in VR? Like, it's way too fast. Like, you can't do a first-person shooter in VR. And Valve kind of still thinks, like, you can't do Portal in VR. No, I think you can do anything in VR. Now, there is motion sickness, and a game like this probably will be a little bit more on the extreme meter of motion sickness. But as I'm looking at the video of this game and thinking about this game, I can't help but think about another game called To the Top. We all remember To the Top. To the Top is very similar in style in terms of, like, you're running, you're jumping, you're grabbing on things, you're jumping off things. I mean, this is very similar to the Top, and I had no motion sickness problems with To the Top. It worked perfectly fine. It wasn't disorienting. I know there's some people that probably couldn't play To the Top, but I'm pretty excited about this game Stride. So, you know, we're going to keep our eye on it. Also, I would say one of the biggest concerns that I would have about this game is the developer, Joyway. I don't know anything about them. They don't have like a track record that I've been able to determine, at least looking on Steam and just clicking on their developer name. I'm not seeing like a whole bunch of other games they've made. So it's like, yeah, you can make a beautiful trailer that does inspire all these Mirror's Edge feelings, but will they actually deliver upon it? But this, I believe, is supposed to come this summer. So sometime later this summer, Stride. Definitely looking forward to that one. Okay, so that is number 18. Yeah, we've got to move down the road here. And now we're getting to number 17. And at number 17, we have Panther VR. Panther VR by Wolfdog Interactive. And this game is a game that was supposed to already have come out. It was supposed to come out in April. They thought for sure that it was going to come out in April. This was another game that was kickstarted, and it ended up missing its April launch. Now they're kind of have a soft window of May, so hoping to possibly get it out this month. But here's another stealth game, and when I think about this one, I actually think a lot about eSpire 1, you know, because we just got eSpire 1, what was it, November of last year, or was it like, yeah, kind of late November, I think, for eSpire 1. And eSpire 1 had so much hype behind it, but it kind of had a rough launch, and then I think it's gotten a lot better. In fact, I think there's been continual updates that have been made to eSpire 1. Talk about a game on my backlog list that I really need to get back to. But Panther VR kind of reminds me of that, but more cartoonish in nature. And the other thing is wait a minute, is this coming to Quest? I couldn't remember if this was a Questicle or not, because it might be slightly affected by the Questicle factor from a standpoint of the cartoonish graphics. But yeah, Wolfdog Interactive, aren't these the guys that worked on like Skyworld? Another game that was like a real-time strategy game. And so here they are in a completely different genre, kind of Metal Gear Solid looking kind of style here that they're going with, and definitely cartoony on the graphics. But hey, this looks pretty goddamn good, and this is one of these games that could be coming very, very soon. This might be the best game in the month of May. This might be the banger for this month. So that, of course, is Panther VR. I believe that was our number 17th game. So you can see we've got a solid top 20 that we're going to be looking at as we go through the entire list here. Oops, I'm in the wrong spot here. So number 16, Phantom Covert Ops by nDreams. Now, this is a game that has a locked-in-stone release date, I believe, of June 25th. Phantom Covert Ops. And there's been a lot of talk about this one, and a lot of people have been very hyped about this one. This, of course, is the game that we all remember from the standpoint that it's going with this unique style of you're in a canoe, you're basically like in a kayak or a canoe, and you go through the entire game in this sort of fashion. Very similar to, what was that game, something Elysium that came out recently, where you're kind of in a canoe, you're like riding through a boat, kind of similar to that, except this one you're going to be like a special operative, and so you've got to infiltrate these bases via canoe. I don't know if you ever get out of your canoe, but you're sniping people, you're shooting people. Graphics look pretty freaking amazing on this one. And I believe this trailer is showing Oculus Rift footage. Of course, this is an Oculus exclusive, so it's going to be on Quest and Rift on June 25th, and then probably at a delayed point in time, it'll probably arrive on Steam and might arrive on additional platforms as well. But you can see pretty graphically intense. I know there's a lot of people that have tried this game. They've played early sequences of this game and have been pretty blown away by this. So coming out on June 25th. One of the things I was wondering, though, about that June 25th thing is they announced that date like before we got into the whole coronavirus shutdown deal, you know? And so now that that has happened, that has changed the development of a lot of games for a lot of teams. And you got to wonder, are they going to be able to stick to this June 25th date? Or could we possibly get an update in the coming weeks where this date gets pushed back a little bit? You see it right there, June 25th. I believe that was right before everything kind of shut down is when we got that date. So you got to wonder if anything's been delayed, or maybe the game has mostly been done and they're just putting the finishing touches on it. And so they were kind of really solid with that date. I'm not sure exactly what it was all about. But yeah, yeah, Nicole says, this is that stealth game that has David Hayter voice acting. Yeah, it's kind of funny that David Hayter is doing the voice acting in this game when he probably should be doing it in Panther VR, because Panther VR looks more Metal Gear Solid than this one. This is Metal Gear Solid Kayak Edition, and Panther is a little bit more pure Metal Gear Solid kind of with its looks. So you almost think David Hayter should be on the other game. But yeah, no, I do believe his voice is in this one. So Metal Gear Solid fans will probably get a kick out of that. All right, let's go ahead and continue to move down the line because we do got a lot of these games to go through. There are so many. This will take a while. But we have gotten all the way to number 15. And number 15 is Solaris Offworld Combat by First Contact Entertainment. And here's another one that is going to start off as an Oculus exclusive. This is very similar to Phantom Covert Ops, where you're going to find it initially on the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Rift. Then it's going to come to other platforms later. And this is obviously hitting PlayStation VR. That's going to be a very big part of the factor. And then it's going to come to Steam and Viveport and other places as well, eventually, probably, right? But Solaris Off-Road Combat, like a lot of people might think about this game and they might immediately think of the Oculus Quest, but this is coming to the Rift and to the big boy platforms as well. And the reason I'm excited about this game is really the pedigree of the studio. And the pedigree of the studio, we're talking about First Contact Entertainment. Well, what are they known for? They're, of course, known for Firewall Zero Hour, which is easily one of the best first-person shooter style games that has ever been made in VR on any platform. It just happens to be a PlayStation VR exclusive, but we really shouldn't hold that against it. These guys know what they're doing. They've already done it, and they've done it incredibly well on the PlayStation VR platform, which has a singular tracking camera with a Kona vision, craptacular move controllers, yet they were still able to do some pretty incredible stuff and make a pretty incredible game here. Not sure why the trailer went dark there. Okay, here it is again. But yeah, I honestly think this could be pretty sensational, especially when it arrives on PC VR, because these guys are talented developers. They've done some great things, and I believe when they really show their skills on PC VR, it's going to be like, oh shit, it just got real. Like, I think this is going to be one of the better multiplayer games that is going to be available when it finally does drop on PC VR platforms as well. This game might be taking a while, though. We don't know how quickly we're going to get this one. I don't know why I got a big blank thing right there. Must have accidentally left it blank for a while. But yeah, that is Solaris Off-World Combat. Solaris Off-World Combat. Alrighty. Okay, so that was number 15. Let's go ahead and move on down the list. Let's get to number 14. Now we're starting to get to the juicy ones, in my opinion. And these are some of the ones that I'm a little bit more excited about. We're about to get into a cyberpunk future, ladies and gentlemen. We got back-to-back cyberpunk games at 14 and 13. It is the great battle of the cyberpunk future, and these aren't the only freaking cyberpunk games in town. There just happens to be 2 in the top 20, but there's many more cyberpunk games that are ranked a little bit further away. In fact, there's a game called 9, The Splintered Mind, that is ranked 21st. And it could have been right there. So we could have had 3 cyberpunk games all in the top 20. But this is LONN. And I got to tell you, folks, this one looks absolutely drop dead gorgeous. It is by SixSense Studios. And let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer. Yeah, we've got so many incredible cyberpunk looking games. I mean, look at how drop dead gorgeous this world is that they've created. Again, beautiful. You've got Lo-Fi, you've got LONN, you've got 9, The Splintered Mind, you've got Electric Sheep. There's like all kinds of different cyberpunk games that are going to be coming over the next 7 to 8 months. And this one is looking pretty dope right here. I mean, look at the lighting, the effects, and everything that's going on. Pretty freaking badass, if you ask me. I'm going to take a little sip of water here. Look at that basketball. Yeah, they got a punching bag. They got the raindrops. You gotta have the raindrops, man. If you're gonna have a cyberpunk future, there's got to be a lot of rain. There's got to be a lot of neon. There's got to be a lot of billboards. There's got to be a lot of drones. There's got to be some Chinese food places. I got to be able to order some ramen. And there's got to be medical stations, ladders, and all sorts of things. This does look really dope. I'm hyped on this. In fact, there's a part of me that wants to rank this ahead of the next game that we're going to get into. Looks like it's combining a little bit of Cyan VR with the cyberpunk future as well. So this is LONN by SixSense Studios. And this probably is like one of my dark horse picks for a game that, you know, it's ranked at what? Number 12 or number 13. You know, it's not ranked super high. This isn't in the top 5. It's not in the top 6, top 7. But this is a game that after it's come out and after all these other games have come out, we might realize that this game should have been in like our top 8. It should have been one of the top games that we had ranked instead of having it ranked at like 13 or whatever we got here. But yeah, I do think it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely excited about this one. Okay, let's see. That is LONN at number 14. Okay, so let's go to number 13. Like I was mentioning earlier, it is the battle. It is the battle of the cyberpunk superstars. We've got LONN. We've got Lo-Fi. How crazy is it too that the names LONN, a 4-letter word starting with an L, Lo-Fi, basically 5 letters starting with an L, both cyberpunk games. Also, I feel bad for the developers of Lo-Fi, Iris VR, Anti-Cleric. I've been in the world of Lo-Fi. Let me go ahead and run the trailer for Lo-Fi. You want to talk about a fully realized cyberpunk world? That is the one thing that we do know about Lo-Fi. We do know that the world is there. The atmosphere is there. I've been in this place. I've been in one of these things. I've seen the raindrops hit the windshield. I've had to land one of these vehicles, and I've walked around on some of these city streets and saw all of this. And the cyberpunk future is very real and looks very good. Now, I got to admit that when I first got into this game, it was incredibly early, and so it's kind of just the skeleton of what the game is going to eventually be. But you've got like your non-player characters that are walking around. You've got music. It's got the whole cyberpunk vibe. You know, super cool looking, like Escape from New York type shit. I mean, you know, it's really quite cool. Like, it is very Blade Runner-esque. It's got gigantic billboards, gigantic signs all over the place. Has a really cool atmospheric feel and vibe to it. Now, the real key, though, with both of these games, with like LONN, with this game, with 9, A Splintered Mind, and all the other Lo-Fi, see the Unity logos. You'll see like Atari logos and stuff. And one of the things I have to wonder about all of these logos, are all of these logos going to remain in the game, like when it's finally released? Because don't they have to get the, see, there's an Atari logo that you might have saw right there. You might have missed it, but there was an Atari logo in the background. But don't they have to get the rights to have all these different logos? Like, I don't know. I don't know if they've already secured. See, here's the Atari logo right here. But yeah, it's definitely got that cyberpunk world. Looks really cool. That is Lo-Fi. And the thing that we know about Lo-Fi, this is expected very late this year. So this is probably looking like a December release. Might even miss 2020. Could get waylaid a little bit into early 2021. And I wonder, you know, for Anti-Cleric, for Iris VR, for the people that are developing this game, I wonder if they have a renewed sense of urgency after seeing 9, The Splintered Mind, and after seeing LONN and seeing this other competition that's coming. You know, they probably would love to have their game out there and available before all these other ones, because you can't imagine everybody's going to buy 4 different cyberpunk games. Most of us are going to buy like a single cyberpunk game. Greg's VR says it's all about the NPCs. Reckoner VR says it might be wishful thinking, but the vibe is very good. Yeah, no, the vibe is very good. I really love atmosphere. Like, I'm a sucker for atmosphere. I'm a sucker for vibe. I'm into that. Like, the world building aspect of it is super important to me. And I was in here and I was walking down some of these like streets and going in some of the back alleys, and there's a lot of little detail that's in it. But certainly the world building from the standpoint of like communicating with the NPCs, dialogue trees, you know, what kind of communication can you have? What kind of missions are you going on? What kind of puzzles are you solving? I think you're kind of a detective and you're going to be like solving crimes and stuff. So I think like you're a future detective. But yeah, that is lo-fi. We're definitely hyped for that one. I mean, so many people are really hyped for that one. So we're definitely going to be looking forward to that. That is number 13. Okay, so one of the things I mentioned at the very beginning here, as I said, we're going to run into a handful of games that we haven't heard from in a long time. And this is the poster child of all the games in the top 20 that have been missing in action, but look jaw-droppingly gorgeous. That, of course, is Blunt Force by Monad Rock. So we heard about this game what seems like eons ago. We got a beautiful trailer for it. World War II, you know, alternative universe, World War II kind of a thing going on. I mean, it looks really cool. Let's go ahead and check out. I mean, graphically, like, I don't know that there's much that looks a hell of a lot better than this. Like, when we first got this trailer, we were like, oh shit, here's a legit AAA banger. Man, look at that Medal of Honor. Get the hell out of here. This looks better than Medal of Honor, man. This is World War II. It's incredible. Monad Rock, developer of Funland or whatever game they made. That was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, this looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. And then, you know, the alternate time period, having to kind of blend in and hide. And I think the way this game is supposed to work is there's like a number of different, you're playing like somebody in the Resistance, and you're playing like a number of different characters. So like one character might have to do like something on a motorcycle chase or something. Another character has to do this thing. Some other character has to do another thing. And that's what we're kind of looking at with Blunt Force. But graphically, I mean, that looks absolutely fantastic. Like, I remember the very first time I saw this trailer, I was like, there's no way my video card is going to be running this shit perfectly in VR if it really looks like this. Like, if this is not a bullshot trailer, because that looks freaking absolutely fantastic. I mean, jaw-droppingly gorgeous. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, this trailer looks better than Medal of Honor's trailer, if we're going to be quite honest about it. The problem is we haven't heard anything about Blunt Force in eons. Like, we haven't heard anything. And the Steam page for this game, like, still says like 2019, hasn't really been updated. There hasn't been any information or anything. So I don't know. We're still a little bit wondering, but I don't believe the game has been canceled. Like, I'm pretty sure the game has not been canceled. I believe that it still exists and they're continuing to bang on it. So this could be one of these games where all of a sudden on a random Tuesday, bam, a brand new trailer drops for Blunt Force and it has release date September 14th or something. Bam. You know, I mean, that's going to happen. These things are going to happen over the coming weeks and months. We're going to get final release date trailers. They're going to have dates on them. And some of these games are going to move into their final form. And we're going to start to find out when these things are going to come out. But yeah, that is Blunt Force. Definitely a graphical showpiece. We are excited about that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to number 11. Number 11 is Undead Citadel by Dark Curry. Dark Curry. And here's another graphically intense game. This one has had a number of trailers that look very pretty. Very, very pretty. And I know a few people have actually played this game. In fact, I think Gamertag VR has played this at one of the different European shows in the UK. I believe he got an opportunity to play this. I don't know if he played the PC VR version or if he played a PlayStation VR version, but like all these animations and stuff. So this is supposed to be a gameplay trailer. Like I'm looking at this and it looks almost too good to be true. Again, this is very similar to Blunt Force. It's like, are these graphics real? I mean, because it looks too effing good. But then when we get the final game, because see, a lot of times with VR games, usually when we look at the trailers, people are like, VR games look garbage, and then you get the game and it looks more impressive in the VR headset. But then you get a game like this and a game like Blunt Force, and I have a hard time believing that it's actually going to look like that. But I want to believe, I really do. I really want to believe that it actually is going to look like this. But it's also coming to PlayStation VR. It's coming to PC VR platforms. This game, I believe, was supposed to be a fourth quarter release last year. It got delayed. So that's been the trend. There's a lot of VR games that continue to get pushed back. And now it's kind of at the point where we're just going to have to wait for like a new trailer, a new announcement. Again, a random Tuesday, a random Wednesday, a random Monday. There's going to be a big story on Upload VR. There's going to be a release date trailer. And these games are going to start to solidify. And we're going to start to find out when these things are actually coming. That is Undead Citadel. It looks pretty freaking gorgeous. And it's got those stop animation skeletons that I love so much from the Sinbad days. The good old Sinbad days. All right, so now we're up to number 10. And number 10, so on this list, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is there's going to be a number of games that I'm not that into. This is another one. I'm not that into this. Sniper Elite VR by Rebellion. Personally, not tremendously excited about this, but I know there's other people out there that are chomping at the bit for games like this, and they are really excited for this game. And they have played all the different Sniper Elite games. I don't think I've ever played a Sniper Elite game. I may have rented one maybe for like a weekend. That's pretty much the extent of it. And we're going to go ahead and check out this trailer. And one thing that we're going to notice about this trailer is we don't get actual legitimate gameplay. Well, we do get gameplay, but it's like off a monitor and it's PlayStation VR. So we don't have like legitimate footage of this game quite yet. We don't have a legitimate trailer of this game quite yet. We just have this guy wearing a PlayStation VR headset and a members only jacket. And, you know, he's using that aim controller quite well. And, you know, playing some Sniper Elite VR. And, yeah, it is coming to PlayStation VR. And one of the things we do believe is we believe that this is going to be one of those timed exclusives in the same way that, like, Apex Construct was on PlayStation VR first. You know, certain games would arrive on PlayStation VR. You wouldn't hear anything. You'd wonder, oh, there is a PC VR game. We don't know when it's coming. And then 45 days later or 60 days later, bam, it's on PC VR platforms as well. That's kind of what I think is going to happen here with Sniper Elite VR. And it might be kind of cool. I mean, it might be kind of cool. I've been in various VR games where you do use a sniper rifle and you're actually putting it up and you actually legitimately close your eyeball and do the whole thing, and it can work out pretty good. And this is, look, this is a high-end developer. We're talking about Rebellion. This is not their first VR game, actually. Battlezone is their first VR game. So they've done, and they also were producers on Arca's Path. So, you know, it's not their first rodeo as far as VR games go. We do, I mean, that PSVR gameplay footage that you are seeing on those TV screens doesn't look too bad. So I have to imagine a lot of PlayStation VR fans are pretty excited about this. So that is Sniper Elite VR, and we have it ranked number 10th. Even though I'm not really that into it, I still recognize that it is a high-profile game that a lot of people are really into. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into numero 9. And I'm in the wrong spot here. So number 9 is The Wizard's Dark Times by Carbon Studio. The Wizards Dark Times. Wait, let's actually go back to a big image of that. Okay, so the Wizards Dark Times, this is their new logo right here. Not a fan. Not a fan of the new logo. I say go back to the old logo, Carbon Studio. Go back to the original logo that you had for the Wizards Dark Times. I'm not a huge fan of that logo there. But yeah, so some people might think the Wizards Dark Times at number 9? Like, dude, I've played both of the Wizards games, or I've played some of the Wizards, the enhanced versions, and it's okay, man, but it's not all that. Should this be in the top 9? No, here's the thing, here's what I think is going on with Carbon Studio. Dude, I think Carbon Studio is just getting warmed up. I think these guys have serious chops, and I think we're going to finally see it with the Wizards Dark Times. So the Wizards, the PlayStation VR, the enhanced edition, and then also it came to the Oculus Quest, right? The first Wizards, the enhanced edition. I thought they did a damn good job with both of it, both on PlayStation VR. I thought they really tapped the power of the PlayStation VR. I thought it was a cool adventure kind of a game on PlayStation VR, a fun romp, graphically impressive what they did on PlayStation VR. And the Oculus Quest version, I've heard good things about the Wizards on Oculus Quest. And looking at like the early footage that I've seen for Dark Times, and some people have played some of this, they played some early levels, and the footage I've seen of that, it just looks like they're stepping their game up to a new level. Like, it looks like Carbon Studio is really raising their game to a new level for Dark Times. I really hope that that's the case. Otherwise, this could be a situation where we just have this dramatically overranked. And that's going to happen. I guarantee you, there's at least one game in this top 20 that has absolutely no business whatsoever being in this top 20. In fact, there's probably more than one, but this is kind of a dark horse for me as well. Like, I believe this game's kind of flying under the radar. I don't think a lot of people have this in their top 10 most wanted charts, but I think this one is going to catch a lot of people off guard. I really do. So that is the Wizards Dark Times at numero 9. Okay, we're going to bounce back on over here. And actually, you know what? We're moving through these quite quickly, actually. I thought this would take way longer. We're actually moving through these babies pretty quick. We're already up to number 9, and it's only been a little while. Okay, although we did start early. We did start the show early. Okay, so let's see. What am I looking for now? Okay, so now we're all the way up to number 8, and now is when we start to get into some real heavy hitters, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to enter some serious heavy hitters. And at number 8, we've got Firmament by Cyan Incorporated. And so here's a game. Of course, they had a Kickstarter last year is when we originally got the announcement for Firmament. And, I believe they hit their Kickstarter goal and all of that. And then they had a playable demo. And luckily enough, I was able to get in on this playable demo, and I actually did get to play some of this footage that we're seeing right here. I actually got to experience it in person with the initial vertical slice that they have of this game, Firmament, a playable demo that they had. I was very impressed with everything I saw. I'm a fan of puzzle games. Puzzle games in VR can work very, very well. We've seen it over and over again. You look at stuff like Heart of the Emberstone, Dark Matter. I mean, there's just so many puzzle games that are incredibly atmospheric, great graphics. This was pretty magnificent right here. I remember this part right here. It's like you're in the Himalayas or something. It's pretty incredible. You've got a floating robot homie. That was a big thing early on in the days of VR. How many floating robots did we have? And in this game, you got a floating robot as well. The puzzles, some people will get into the puzzles. That kind of looks like Heart of the Emberstone right there when they're having little holograms and stuff. But yeah, Heart of the Emberstone I thought was tremendously underrated. This is not Cloudhead Games. This is Cyan Incorporated, developers of Abduction, which is a game, by the way, that is on Viveport. I played it a little bit recently. Now, the first time I played it did not perform very well. I'm going to try to play the game again in my Valve Index, and I'm going to hope that maybe there's a little bit of a better performance because it's bypassing the whole Oculus thing. But these guys have got puzzle chops. They've got money. These are some of the environments, like these are some of the backdrops for future levels. Now, here's the thing, though. When are we going to get this game? See, the thing is, they announced this game a long time ago, and they were talking about summer 2020. And when they first announced it, summer 2020, that looks like BioShock right there. Like BioShock called. BioShock wants its art designer back, because that is straight, that should just say BioShock right up there. But it says Firmament by Cyan Incorporated. Yeah, so they announced it like a year early and had the release date like summer 2020. Well, you know what? Summer 2020 is nearly upon us, and I kind of feel like this game might slip into early 2021. So that's maybe my danger there. I believe probably the PC VR version might hit first, and then it would later arrive on PlayStation VR. But yeah, that is Firmament by Cyan Incorporated. That is the number 8 most wanted PC VR game according to VR Game Rankings. What the hell do they know? What the hell do they know? Okay, I'm going to switch back over here and we're going to check out number 7 as we continue to move along. Yeah, so number 7 now, one of the things I mentioned this at the top, that I'm not going to be doing rumored games like Assassin's Creed VR or, you know, any of these rumored games, right? But Project 4, not a rumored game. This is a real game. Now, the name is probably not going to be Project 4. That is probably a placeholder name. And of all the games in this entire top 20 ranking, we probably have the least information of any game is in Project 4. We do not have a video for this game, folks. There is no trailer for this game. We don't have another screenshot. This is it. This is the singular screenshot we got. Now, of course, you can take a look at this screenshot and you can see somebody, looks like they're jumping through the air with a submachine gun. It looks like there's a lot of stairs. Looks a little Boneworks-esque in a way. Looks like he's shooting the hell out of something right there. And then it looks like you've got like a flying ghost thing over there. But yeah, I was at Oculus Connect 6. Rest in peace, Oculus Connect, by the way. It's going to be a long time before we have another one of those. But I was at Oculus Connect 6. I was sitting in the crowd when Mike Vertigo got up on stage and dropped the bomb about Project 4. And originally, another thing too, is some people might be thinking, hey, wait a minute. This is a Quest game. I thought this was a PC VR Game Rankings breakdown. Why do you have another Quest game up in here? Well, guess what? Project 4, not just a Quest game. Brandon Jayla of Stress Level Zero came out and said, no, we're putting this game on every platform we can. So Project 4 is coming to every single platform. Now, because Mike Vertigo is on stage announcing it, I would bet dollars to donuts that it's going to be on the Quest and the Rift before anywhere else. Very similar to Phantom Covert Ops coming on June 25th. It's going to be one of those types of things. Same thing as Solaris, which is going to be on Quest and Rift. It's going to be in the store, and it's going to have a window of exclusivity, and then later it's going to leak onto other platforms. But Project 4 is going to be on Steam. It's going to be on PC VR headsets, and these are the developers of Boneworks. And I would not sleep on the developers of Boneworks. I still, to this very day, Boneworks is a game that unfortunately I set off to the side. I've got so many games like this, guys. Asgard's Wrath, Storm, like all the greatest hits of last year. Espire 1, Budget Cuts 2. Like, what have I finished? What have I finished? I finished Doctor Who. Yay! I finished Doctor Who. And I might actually finish Pixel Ripped 1995 when I finally get back to that and start playing it. And update for Half-Life Alyx, I got to level 8, everybody. So I got past the Jeff level. So I'm finally in level 8. But yeah, Boneworks is a game I need to go back to. I think it's tremendously underrated. These guys have shown that they are on another level when it comes to physics. Their physics, in my personal opinion, is better than Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx has less jank. Less jank, more filling. Less jank, more filling. But freaking Boneworks has extra jank, but it's more immersive, man. The overall physics are better, and I think their physics is going to continue to improve, and I'm excited. I'm excited for Project 4. You know, I'm curious to see. I believe this is going to be an early 2021 kind of a game. This might be like spring 2021, but I'm definitely excited for Project 4. That's why we have it ranked as the seventh most wanted PC VR game. That is a pretty high ranking, and a lot of people don't even know that it's coming to PC VR. Okay, let's go ahead and get to number 6. Now we're heading down the final stretch. We're getting to the biggest bangers out there, upcoming PC VR games that we are excited about, and this is number 6. This is Vertigo 2 by Zulubu Productions. And of course, those of you that did not play Vertigo 1, you might want to hold off and not play Vertigo 1 because they are completely redoing Vertigo 1 with basically all of the juice that they're using on Vertigo 2. All the things that they've learned here with Vertigo 2. So they're going to take what they've learned and improve Vertigo 1 and do a Vertigo 1 remaster as well. But this is an impressive game. Obviously, the demo is out there. You guys have probably played this demo, so you've probably seen it for yourselves. I honestly, in some ways, I feel like Vertigo 2 is way the hell overrated. Like, I'm excited for this game like everybody else is excited for this game, but this game, like, if this was my personal rankings, this would not be in my top 10, I don't think. But this is not my personal rankings. This is a rankings for like VR in general. So I'm trying to think of like everybody out there. And I know like if you just consider like the F reality guys, like ZimTalk, like a lot of them consider this game like one of the 5 biggest games. Like this is the next big game. I don't know, man. Like I played the demo. It was cool. Like I'm excited for this. I am, but I don't see. I don't know. To me, this seems a bit overrated. I'm still excited for it, and I'm still hyped for it. And, you know, honestly, I'm kind of just as excited for the Vertigo 1 remaster as I am for this, you know. But I do kind of want to play both of them. And I do love this animation right here. This animation right here of this guy swinging around. Look at how he sticks his leg out. Oh, that is so hilarious. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm still excited for Vertigo 2. This is definitely one of the biggest bangers that's coming this year. I just don't know if it's like as hyped as like a lot of people think. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of people have this ranked way higher than me. Okay, so that is Vertigo 2 at numero 6. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into number 5. We are now into the 5 biggest upcoming VR games that have yet to touch store shelves. And at number 5, we've got Population 1 by Big Box VR. And a lot of people have been wondering, what the hell is going on here, man? This game has been in perpetual, not motion. It's not been in perpetual motion. It's been in limbo for what seems like a couple of years. Like, we've known about Population 1 for a hell of a long time. It's had like a private beta that people have been in for a long ass time. People have said the game like plays hella good. Like, people have broken the NDA and said the game plays great. I mean, it looks incredible. Like, just purely from eye candy standpoint, this game looks fantastic. I mean, we put it up there in terms of like trailers, one of the best looking trailers of any of the VR trailers. I mean, it's up there with Blunt Force. This looks incredible. Like, look at how colorful and beautiful it is. The very first trailer they made, absolute home run. I mean, the grass, everything, that just looks jaw-droppingly gorgeous. It looks too good to be true, quite honest. And the other thing about Population 1 that we think about, Battle Royale, only in VR, by Big Box VR. The other thing that we think about here is, like, I've got teenagers, right? They're not really into VR. And the reason they're not into VR is because they want to play every game online. It's got to be online. All their friends have to be in it. It's got to be a thing like that. And this still probably isn't going to get them because VR is just too goddamn expensive. And one of the things that I brought up, like one of the real stumbling blocks for like my teenagers to really get into VR is that all their friends have to get into VR as well, which means all their friends would have to afford high-end gaming rigs and shit. And then again, and even all their friends affording an Oculus Quest. You might think, well, at least they can afford an Oculus Quest. Not necessarily, man. You're talking $399.99 plus tax. You're talking like $460. You're basically taking 500 bills to the Walmart or the Best Buy. You're giving them 500 bills. You're not getting a lot of money coming back. And for families and stuff that have like multiple teenagers and kids, you know, they might have an Xbox in their room or a PlayStation 4, but getting their hands on an Oculus Quest is another story. But we do eventually need a multiplayer game that just razzles and dazzles the populace. And Population 1, you know, I mean, it's got some of the most colorful green grass we have ever seen in our entire lives. It does look incredible. It is number 5. Now, there are rumors, ladies and gentlemen, that this game could have been out a year ago if it wasn't for the goddamn Quest version. And if that is the case, I personally think that is a terrible mistake that Big Box VR is making. I think it is dramatically overrated to have a simultaneous release on whatever platforms you're like you don't have to have it on Quest and Rift and everything on the same day. No, I don't think so. Because I think you can get like, it's like having 2 grand opening celebrations. I don't know. I think delaying a game for an entire year just for the standalone version to be like, have decent parity, I think is a bad, I personally think it's a bad decision. I personally think money has been left on the table. Like Big Box VR, they're making a bet that there isn't going to be another Battle Royale game that's going to come out of nowhere to eat their lunch, you know? But I don't know. I mean, it does look pretty incredible. Like, it really does look amazing. It's one of the best looking trailers I've ever seen. You know, I'm not really a multiplayer guy, but god damn is it gorgeous. Okay, well, let's go ahead and check out number 4. And this might be a bit of a shocker to some people, and there might be a lot of people out there that don't believe that this should be the number 4 game. There are some people that are not very hyped on the Walking Dead Onslaught. Why? Because they've already got the Walking Dead game that they want. It is called Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and maybe they haven't even finished that game completely because it's a big game and it takes a long time. And no, I haven't finished The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and I'm probably like 60% of the way through the game. It is the story of my life, ladies and gentlemen. But there's another Walking Dead game out there, and you got to feel a little bit bad for Survios, because what are the chances that there would be 2 Walking Dead games in the first place that would be so close together, and one of them would be an absolute grand slam? And it was just an absolute grand slam by Skydance Interactive. I mean, they absolutely killed it with The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. So it puts a tremendous amount of pressure, an incredible amount of pressure on Survios to try to equal what has already been done and what has already been dropped in late January when we got Saints and Sinners. But you know the real reason why this game is number 4, ladies and gentlemen? The real reason this game is number 4 Westworld Awakening. Westworld Awakening. I truly do believe that Westworld Awakening, quite possibly one of the 5 best games of 2019. Incredibly underrated, incredibly slept on. People have no idea what a great game Westworld Awakening, absolutely incredible. And I kind of believe that the team that developed Westworld Awakening, as soon as they finished developing Westworld Awakening, they started working on another incredible franchise. I mean, imagine you've got Westworld as your effing franchise that you're working. I mean, what a dream. A dream to be making Westworld in VR. And then they get to follow that up by making The Walking Dead in VR. And see, this is The Walking Dead where they've actually licensed the TV show. So they've got like the actual characters and stuff. So they're going to be, and if you've played Westworld Awakening, and if you've seen what they did with like the environment and the vibe and just the feel of being there, like they captured the feel of being at that Delos underground facility, like they did such an incredible job of that. And so if that same exact team is the one that's working on this, and they've been banging and banging and banging away at it, and they've got like another 8 or 9 months extra because that other Walking Dead game ruined their entire day. So it's like, okay, we got to delay our game for 9 months anyway, because we just got to get the hell out of Dodge and give us some space between these 2 Walking Dead games. Now they have all this time to make this game that much even better. Now, what I would like to see, however, though, is a brand new trailer. I'd like to see a brand new trailer, because this was like the original tease trailer. Like, we don't have a lot of good information on this game very much. So I would like to see some more. And I know some people have tried this game and weren't that impressed with it. Like an early build of it. I think some people might have tried an early build, or actually that might be the next game that we're about to talk about. So anyway, that is The Walking Dead Onslaught. I'm still excited for it. And mainly it's because of Westworld Awakening. After playing Westworld Awakening, I'm a believer in Survios, and I'm down to see whatever they got coming. All right, so here is number 3. And this is one that might catch some people off guard a little bit. Some people might be like, really? After the Fall? Like, you're really that excited about After the Fall? Why? You know, Nathy played this, wasn't impressed. Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis played an early version of this, wasn't impressed. Yeah, okay, I know there's some people that have played this. They weren't all that impressed. But you know what? I believe in Vertigo games. I don't know if Jaywalker Studios is also working with them on this one like they did with the original Arizona Sunshine. But here's the thing. Like, you go back to 2016, we did our Glory Days episode where we were looking at the best games of 2016, but we're looking at the early half of 2016. But in the second half of 2016, a little game called Arizona Sunshine came out of nowhere. And yeah, Arizona Sunshine has not aged very well. I will admit it. Okay, Arizona Sunshine not aged well at all. In fact, it looks pretty old and busted. But I thought, you know, there's gonna be an Arizona Sunshine 2. Like, where's the big follow-up to Arizona Sunshine? Well, what happened is, I think they were in a boardroom at Vertigo Games, and somebody was like, I know, snow zombies! Snow zombies, man! That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do snow zombies. It'll be like post-apocalyptic. You know, it'll be a little bit of Arctica 1, but it will be like in Los Angeles, like after a major apocalypse, and we'll have snow zombies, and it's kind of road warriors, but it's like the Ice Age is happening, man. It's a cool environment with all kinds of monsters and stuff. I think it looks badass, and I think it's about time. Vertigo Games needs to step up their game, and they need to bring a more modern style game. The same old stuff ain't gonna work anymore. You can't just release another Arizona Sunshine and think that that's gonna fly in the year 2020. So many games have stepped up their game now. You know, so many developers have stepped up their game. Now, I think this looks cool. Like, I'm looking at this trailer here. I think the environments look cool. I think the entire setting of the game looks cool. I think the idea looks cool. I'm down with this game. This is kind of like Arctica 1, except you're not locked in, you know, node-based teleportation. This is more open world. You get to walk around. Graphically, it looks pretty freaking intense, impressive. I'm a fan of this. You got the snow zombies, you got Los Angeles, you got Apocalypse, you got the Ice Age. I mean, what more do you want, man? I think I'm pretty down with this, and I'm excited for this. You know, the funny thing about this, too, is occasionally I will see a tweet about After the Fall. Has anybody else seen this tweet out there where they mention VR game rankings for trying an early preview build of After the Fall? Hey, Vertigo Games, guess what, guys? I've never tried your preview build. You keep telling everybody I've tried your I've never tried this. I want to try it. Could you email me a build of it so the tweet can be accurate? I've never tried this. But there's a number of times where Vertigo will, they throw at VR game rankings in there like I've tried this game. I have not tried it, but I want to. I really do. In fact, I want to try it so much, I've put it at my number 3. Number 3, most wanted upcoming VR game after the fall. All right. Well, that, of course, leads us to number 2. There can only be 2. And number 2, of course, is Lone Echo 2 by Ready at Dawn. And you want to talk about a game that a lot of people kind of been sleeping on this game a little bit. You know, this is like the redheaded stepchild of the upcoming VR games. It's like everybody knows, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You've got Lone Echo 2. Yeah, there is Lone Echo 2. And Lone Echo was pretty good. And so yeah, Lone Echo 2, but I'm not that excited about it because I know what it's going to be, man. It's just going to be another 10 hours of Lone Echo with some slightly different story. I hope not. I hope it's going to be more than that, but I am excited about Lone Echo 2. I did get to try a very little tiny vertical slice of this at Oculus Connect 6. Not impressive. It wasn't impressive. It was not an impressive vertical slice. In fact, I think Alex VR is in chat. And Alex VR also tried this and was very unimpressed with the little vertical slice that he tried. And I told him, don't worry about it. This is going to be an incredible game. There's nothing to worry about here. See, one of the most beautiful things about the original Lone Echo, and I will stand by this, I will continue to stand by this idea, is that if you want to get as close as humanly possible to being inside a sci-fi action movie. And for me personally, as a video gamer, that's the ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to be inside a movie. Now, I'm not saying I want to be in a movie like an actor, and I'm not saying I want a full motion video game. No, I mean a video game, but I want the video game to be so effing good that it is like a freaking movie. It's like I'm inside a movie and a story is swirling all around me. And it's like I'm a lead actor in the movie and the movie's unraveling, but it's an interactive movie. And I really felt that there were a lot of times in the original Lone Echo where I had to stop for a second and damn near pinch myself and think, this is like an effing sci-fi movie. Like I'm inside a freaking sci-fi movie. How effing incredible is that? And I think a big part of the reason why I felt like I was inside a movie is the relationship that you have with Olivia, and you're back and forth with Olivia, and she really seems like a real human person that is there. Her body size, the scale, it's very much on target. You might be tempted to commit some sexual harassment every now and then. I can't help it. It's evolution, man. 30 million years. All right. And she's just floating right there. It's hard. Okay. And so, but there is this interpersonal relationship that's going on. and she looks at you and she blinks her eyes and she hands you things, and it just brings you into the world that much more. And I think you being like the robot and the AI and everything, I really think they did a damn good job here. And Lone Echo 2, what is this game going to entail? Like, is this really going to be like my biggest worry about Lone Echo 2, seriously, the number one worry I have about this is that it's just going to be a whole lot of reused assets. It's basically, they're going to be like, yeah, let's use as much of Lone Echo 1 as we can, but just add some couple extra things in here, change some uniforms up, put a couple different scenarios, and we'll call it a day, and we'll call it Lone Echo 2. Like, that would be my biggest worry here about Lone Echo 2. Cyan VR says, I didn't harass Olivia. Guess I'm not normal. Yeah, you're definitely not normal. You are definitely not normal. If you're a red-blooded American, look, I'm just going to be honest, man. If you're a red-blooded American, true Americans. No, I'm kidding. Okay, but yeah, that is Lone Echo 2. It is the number 2 most wanted upcoming VR game. And you know, we did get some bad news about this, guys. This was in the news just in my last episode. In fact, on Thursday, I reported on this. This game is being affected by the situation that is going on around the world, and we're looking at very, very late this year. So this could be like a November or December release, could possibly even slip into the first quarter of 2021. And that's the unfortunate reality of when you get into these much larger developers. When you start getting into much larger developers, they just have so many people that are working on the game, it becomes problematic. And speaking of much larger developers, that of course takes us to the number one banger, number one most wanted PC VR game that is currently out there, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond by Respawn Entertainment. Yes, it is the number one most wanted game. Now, the question is, am I really all that hyped for this? Am I really all that hyped for this? Well, you know, it depends. I'll tell you what. So I am hyped on this from the standpoint that we are talking about one of the biggest AAA developers that is out there. Respawn Entertainment, Titanfall. I mean, come on, one of the biggest developers that exist, doing a real deal VR game for Oculus. They've been paid millions upon millions of dollars to do this. Now, here's the downside. The downside is I was at Oculus Connect 6, and I did play this. And I did throw some of those bombs. And I was in this level right here. Like, I was in that actual level. So I've actually been in this game. And it didn't, I was in this game, man. And it was not freaking Half-Life Alyx. I'll tell you that. It was not Half-Life Alyx. So what I really got to hope for, what I really got to hope and pray for, is that the final version of this game is going to be light years better than what I played at Oculus Connect 6. The other thing I'm hopeful for is there's a lot of different scenarios. You know, they're putting you in like airplanes. They're putting you in tanks. There's probably, you know, so you're gonna be in tanks, you're gonna be in airplanes, you're gonna be in submarines, you're gonna be on trains. I mean, that's honestly, that's the most exciting aspect of this whole thing for me, is like all the different environments that you're gonna be in with these different vehicles. And then the other thing is at Oculus Connect 6, I was in this environment right here. This is actually the place that I was in. And I didn't get to see like a lot of this. There was no story elements that was in there. It was like a vertical slice. Who knows like what section of the game that they actually gave me to play when I was in it. And so I'm hoping that the finalized version of this game is dramatic leaps and bounds better than what I played at Oculus Connect 6. Because if it's basically essentially what I played at Oculus Connect 6, just longer, more involved, more scenarios, that would be hella disappointing, man, because it wouldn't, like, I don't know that what I played at Oculus Connect 6 would not rank in my top 5 VR games of what's available right now. There's just no way. So I got to hope that all these different scenarios, being in a plane, being in a submarine, being on a train, you know, we don't know what all the different scenarios are. We don't know if we're going to storm the beaches of Normandy. You know, we don't know exactly what we're going to be doing in this game. We know that Oculus is paying a lot of money. I mean, that looks cool. You know, that looks like the Titanic, you know, so some underwater stuff. So, I mean, this is probably going to be like that Michael Bay Action Jackson kind of a deal, you know, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, like pomp and circumstance. Like, you're going to see the money. You'll see the money that was spent on the game because it's just lavish in a lot of departments. And it's probably also going to have like really good 3D audio and stuff. That's some of the things that you kind of take for granted. Like a team like Respawn Entertainment might have some incredible 3D audio that could hopefully be next level. But yeah, guys, that is the #1 banger of the day. And that, of course, is by Respawn Entertainment. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do now, hold on one second here. I'm going to bounce over to VR game rankings, and we can actually check out our top 20 list, so we can kind of recap what we just went over here. So let me go ahead and load this up. Top 20 most wanted Oculus Rift games. All right, so yeah, let's try to bounce over to the Twitch webinator. Let's see, Twitch web browser. Okay, over here. And so here we are, the top 20 most wanted upcoming Oculus Rift games. This was updated a while ago, so I think this is the most recent update. But yeah, you can see we have Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. It is #1, 4th quarter. This needs to be updated. This is now a 4th quarter release for Lone Echo 2. After the Fall, tentatively scheduled summer 2020. Walking Dead Onslaught, summer 2020. Population 1, 3rd quarter 2020. Vertigo 2. Actually, let's go to the top 40 because I think it might be a little bit more updated. No, this still hasn't been updated. If we go to the top 100, no, actually that hasn't been updated yet either. I updated it in the system, but I haven't published it. Okay, yeah, so release dates are going to be updated a little bit more in the final version. But like Project 4, that was ranked at 7. And we have this as a 1st quarter 2021. So we have that slipping into 2021. You can see here we go down. We got the Wizards Dark Times, Sniper Elite VR, Undead Citadel, Blunt Force, Lo-Fi, LONN, my dark horse, by the way. LONN is absolutely my dark horse. Solaris, Phantom Covert Ops, Panther VR, Stride, Zenith, and Hyperdash. And look at that handsome young man right there. He looks a little mad. Like, is he mad? Is he sitting on the toilet? What's the matter with him? What's wrong with him? And then, of course, yeah, our number 20 game was Hyperdash. And yeah, that's just the top 20. You know, and if you go here, see Oculus, this is VRGameRankings.com. You go over to Most Wanted, this thing will pop up. You can take a look at the top 40. So then you go down here and you can see what's number 21. Well, 21 is 9, The Splintered Mind, which looks damn good and is a damn good number 21. And then you've got like Rise of the Titan. You've got District Steel. You've got The Rig. You've got Node. You got the Persistence, which is coming on May 21st. Disciples of Dawn, Tarzan VR. And there's so many good games, man. We've got, I mean, the only thing is, see, there's a lot of really good games, but what there isn't is like a Half-Life Alyx kind of a game, or like a Boneworks, or I mean, I guess Stormland. I mean, I guess Lone Echo 2 and Medal of Honor are kind of in that kind of category, but I don't know. I feel like we do need some more heavy hitters. And I'm in the wrong category here. I do feel like we need some more heavy hitters in the upcoming VR games category, like Assassin's Creed VR, That would be exactly what the doctor ordered. Assassin's Creed VR. All right, let's see. I'm over here at, we're checking out chat. Soulscape is number 54. Is Anthony going to do a Scarface impression? Why does somebody think I'm going to do a Scarface? Tony Montana. My name is Tony Montana. I'm a political prisoner from Cuba. No, but anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to go ahead and do it for this episode of VR365. We have gone through the entire top 20 most wanted game breakdown, and we ended up with our number one game. I don't think it was any kind of a shocker, folks. I don't see how this could possibly be a shocker. Medal of Honor, Above and Beyond, is our number one most wanted VR game. Lone Echo 2 is number 2. After the Fall is number 3. The Walking Dead Onslaught by Survios, another Walking Dead game, coming in at number 4. And Population 1, number 5. Vertigo 2, number 6. Project 4, number 7. Firmament, number 8. The Wizards, The Dark Times, number 9. Sniper Elite VR, number 10. So that was our top 10. So a lot of strong games, a lot of great games to look forward to. But yeah, I'm taking a look over here at chat just to see if anybody has any very specific. Reality 2200, Vertigo 2, was that in the top 10? Yes, it was. It was at number 6. It was definitely at number 6. Paulo says Raccoon Lagoon is an underrated game. Okay. Yeah, and we're talking about the Survios Walking Dead. Nicole says the Survios Walking Dead game could end up boosting sales for Saints and Sinners. Yeah, it actually could. I think it's after Westworld Awakening, like I'm assuming it's the same team. It's gotta be, right? I feel like a lot of the same people that worked on Westworld Awakening at this very moment are working on Walking Dead Onslaught. And I have faith in the Westworld Awakening team. Like, those guys can do no wrong as far as, at least when it comes to like environmental storytelling, atmosphere, incredible, man. Setting the stage, like world building, the world building. If you get into Westworld Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, also the story and the sound and the voiceover quality, like there's probably going to be voiceover in the Walking Dead Onslaught. Now, the thing is, they are using characters from the TV show, and I doubt that they got their real actors, so that might be a little bit weird. That actually could be very weird. That could be really weird now that I think about it. Like, the more I think about it, the more weird it could be. All right, well, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of VR365. I, of course, will be back next Thursday on YouTube with a standard issue show where we cover news, what is going on in the actual VR gaming world. I'll see everybody Thursday. Everybody have a good one. Take it easy. All righty. Later, brah.